You check your bank account. $247. Rent hits in 3 days. Your car starts making that weird clicking noise. And your phone screen cracks when it slips out of your hand. Again. And in that moment, you're not thinking about investing. You're not thinking about retirement. You're thinking, I hope nothing else goes wrong. If that feels familiar, that's literally most people. Because here's the thing. It's not the big financial disasters that destroy you. It's the $600 repair, the $900 medical bill, the $1,200 car fix. And that's exactly why we need to talk about the $1,500 emergency fund rule and why most people completely misunderstand it. Introduction. My name is Cooper, and I spend way too much time thinking about finance and emergency fund rule. If you're someone who is going through the financial struggle, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, this isn't going to be one of those save 6 months of expenses or you're doomed lectures. We're going to break this down practically, mathematically, psychologically, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand why $1,500 is not random, it's strategic. Why $1,500? Let's challenge a belief immediately. Most financial advice says you need 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. Now you might be thinking, okay, great, but I can barely save $300. Exactly. According to the Federal Reserve's survey of household economics, roughly 37% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense with cash. Not $4,000, not $2,000, $400. So telling someone who has $0 saved to go save $15,000, that's not advice, that's discouragement. Here's what most people don't realize. The purpose of your first emergency fund isn't long-term safety, it's behavioral stability. And $1,500 hits a very specific psychological and mathematical sweet spot. The math behind $1,500. Let's look at common emergency costs. Car repair, $500 to $1,200. Emergency room visit, with insurance, $800 to $1,500. Appliance replacement, $700 to $1,200. Last-minute flight for family emergency, $400 to $900. Notice something? Most short-term emergencies cluster under $1,500. So if you have $1,500 in cash, you eliminate about 80 to 90% of the most common financial disruptions. That means no credit card swipe, no payday loan, no borrowing from friends, no starting the month in a hole. This is where it gets really interesting. When you avoid putting $1,200 on a credit card at 24% APR, you're not just saving $1,200, you're avoiding $1,200 times 24% equals $288 in interest the first year alone. And if you only make minimum payments, that $1,200 could cost you $1,800 plus over time. One emergency could set you back months. The $1,500 fund stops the spiral before it starts. The psychology nobody talks about. Look, money isn't just math, it's emotion. When you have $0 saved, every inconvenience feels like a crisis. Your stress levels rise. You avoid checking your bank account. You delay fixing things. You make short-term decisions. And here's the thing. Stress literally reduces long-term thinking ability. Behavioral economists call this scarcity mindset. When you're financially squeezed, your brain narrows focus to immediate survival. So you can't plan ahead because your brain is busy putting out fires. But when you have $1,500 sitting there, your brain shifts from survival to stability. You sleep better, you make better decisions, you stop reacting and start planning. That's the hidden benefit. Why most people get this wrong. Here's the mistake. People either skip emergency savings and invest immediately, or try to save too much too fast and quit. Let's address the first group. Now you might be thinking, but investing gives higher returns. Yes, over 30 years, the stock market averages around 8 to 10% annually. But if you have no emergency fund and a $1,000 emergency hits, you sell investments early. Or worse, you use debt. And credit card debt at 24% interest mathematically destroys 8% investment gains. Debt interest is greater than investment return, every time. Now the second mistake, trying to jump from 0 to 10,000 immediately. That feels impossible, and when something feels impossible, you don't even start. $1,500 feels doable, and progress builds momentum.
Let's say Sarah makes $3,500 per month after taxes. Her expenses are $3,200. She's saving $300 per month. Without an emergency fund, month 3 hits. Car repair, $1,100. She swipes a credit card. Now she owes $1,100 at 22% APR. Minimum payment, maybe $35 to $50. But psychologically, she now feels behind. She slows investing. She feels discouraged. Now, let's run it again. Sarah saves $300 per month for 5 months. She hits $1,500. Month 6, car repair, $1,100. She pays cash. Her balance drops to $400. No debt, no panic. She rebuilds in 4 months. That's stability. That's control. But what about 3 to 6 months? Good question. The $1,500 rule is not the finish line, it's phase 1. Think of it like leveling up in a video game. Level 1, $1,500, eliminate small crises. Level 2, 1 month of expenses. Level 3, 3 to 6 months of expenses. But you don't skip level 1, you master it. Because here's what most people don't realize. The biggest wealth-building advantage isn't higher returns, it's consistency. And you can't be consistent if you're constantly interrupted by emergencies. Why $1,500 specifically, not $1,000? Some advice says $1,000. Here's why I think that's outdated. Inflation. 10 years ago, $1,000 covered most repairs comfortably. Today, the average used car repair can exceed $1,000. Medical deductibles are often $1,500 to $2,000. $1,000 barely covers the problem. $1,500 gives breathing room, and breathing room changes behavior. The hidden compounding effect. This is where it gets really interesting. An emergency fund doesn't compound in the market, it compounds in avoided damage. Let's say avoiding just 2 credit card emergencies saves you $1,200 emergency plus $288 interest, $900 emergency plus $216 interest. That's $2,604 preserved. Now imagine that $2,604 gets invested at 8% for 20 years. It becomes about $12,100. Your emergency fund indirectly created $12,000. That's the quiet compounding nobody sees. The 3-step plan to build $1,500 fast. All right, practical steps. Step 1. Define a 90-day target. $1,500 divided by 90 days equals $16.67 per day. That's the mindset shift. You're not saving $1,500, you're saving $17 today. Break it down. Step 2. Temporary aggression. For 90 days, pause eating out. Pause subscriptions you don't use. Sell unused items. If you cut $200 per month and sell $300 worth of stuff, you're halfway there quickly. This is short-term intensity for long-term peace. Step 3. Separate the money. Different bank, high-yield savings account. Not your checking account. Out of sight, out of impulse reach. Addressing the objection. Now you might be thinking, I live paycheck to paycheck, I can't save anything. Look, I get it, but here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't build even a small buffer, you will stay paycheck to paycheck forever, because every emergency resets you to zero. The emergency fund is the escape hatch, not investing, not crypto, not side hustles. Stability first. The bigger picture. Wealth isn't built on big dramatic moves. It's built on boring foundations. And the $1,500 emergency rule is boring. It's not exciting. It won't go viral on TikTok, but it might be the most important $1,500 of your life. Because once emergencies stop knocking you backwards, you can finally move forward. You can invest, you can build, you can think long term. Final motivation. Look, financial stress doesn't disappear because you earn more. It disappears because you gain control. And control starts small. $1,500 is not about the money. It's about confidence. It's about sleeping without checking your bank app at midnight. It's about knowing that when life throws something at you, and it will, you don't fall apart financially. So here's your challenge. Open your banking app today. Decide your 90-day target and start. Because 3 months from now, you're either going to have $1,500 saved or you're going to wish you started today. If this helped you think differently about money, hit subscribe. I break down personal finance in a way that actually makes sense, math and psychology combined. And remember, stability first, wealth second. I'll see you in the next one.